Hello, this is Stormy, and welcome to Scituate Weather Live's daily update. There's two potential storm threats on the horizon for New England. The first one is tomorrow, and that could give us some snow and some rain. And the one on Monday might be a little bit bigger, and that will give us a variety of precipitation types. But that's also very uncertain at this time. The first one that I want to talk about is the first one that's going to happen, which is tomorrow, and this is the most certain one. And as you can see, it's a much weaker system because the two storms, one off the coast of the Carolinas and one right over New England at this point where it's shown tomorrow, which is Friday. It's shown they haven't merged yet, and the northern branch over us has not strengthened much at all. Once they combine together, they will strengthen more, not to a significant amount, but that's after they pass over us. So that will affect more of the Atlantic Canada area. But we will get a couple inches of snow out of this storm, and then the majority of the snowfall will happen when these storms form and the precipitation fields come over us as the precipitation field expands when the two storms merge. It also will get snow before in the beginning of the day too, especially Scituate. But it will benefit the snow from this storm will get the most snow to the ski areas in New Hampshire and the White Mountains. I think that we're only going to get a couple inches of the storm. This is not a blizzard by any means, and I'm not really worried about this storm. May be an advisory from the National Weather Service, a winter weather advisory. If that, I mean, it's not really going to be that big, and that's only for areas west because it's going to mix with rain in the middle of the day for us. Temperatures will be marginal, leading to lower snow ratios, meaning that we're not going to get that much snow. That might be like 5-1 instead of what they were in the blizzard, which was like 15-1. And that means we're going to get much, much, much lower snow totals. And the QPF from the storm isn't even that high anyway, so we're only going to get an inch or two, unless you're up in the mountains where you have much colder temps and you get much higher snow ratios. This is Monday's storm, and Monday's storm looks a lot more intense. It's still very uncertain. It's been going on and off the coast. It's been giving us a big snowstorm, then no snowstorm at all. Like right now, it's showing the whole storm going off. Out to sea, and before it's been showing it going up the East Coast. At least that's what I've heard. I haven't checked up in this model in a while, but this is this is showing it going out to sea at this point. But I wouldn't trust that. It keeps wavering back and forth so much that I would wait until it gets closer to Monday and Tuesday. I would wait until Sunday night to actually put any to say any prediction about the storm, but I just included it in this forecast to warn you just in case this happens. And if it does, the precipitation types of this storm are mainly not the precipitation types, but the precipitation intensity of this storm is pretty strong actually. If this went over us as a snowstorm, this would give us at least 6 inches of snow or more. I wouldn't say it's as big as a blizzard, but it's still a very sizable snowstorm. This might reach blockbuster criteria. Blockbuster meaning a very sizable snowstorm. This is not going to be last week's blizzard by any mean, or I mean, a couple of days ago blizzard by any mean. But the main problem here is it still will create, because it's going to be on Monday and Tuesday morning. It's going to create a lot, like the one we had a couple of days ago. It's going to create a lot of travel issues, and there's going to be slippery roads, and schools are going to have to cancel and everything. If it does happen, I'm not saying it's going to, but that would be the case if it did, and if you give us all snow. Now I want to show you the GFS model's prediction for temperatures tomorrow, and you can see that it's going to rain midday, which shows you that temperatures are really marginal tomorrow. I mean, this also shows you that we're not going to get that much snow because it's going to rain in the middle of the day. For areas out in Connecticut and western Massachusetts, it'll be a little bit colder, but still, you're not going to have any much higher snow ratios than you would like in the blizzard. You're not going to have that here. Temperatures are going to be marginal. It's going to be like 35 or above in eastern Massachusetts, or maybe even 40 in the middle part of the day, meaning that you're not going to. The rain's just going to add water to the snow, into the 30 inches of snow, and make it hard to move. And then next week it's going to freeze, so it's going to it's not going to become light and fluffy anymore. If you like making snow, if you like having light and powdery snow, it's going to go away because it's going to rain, and then it will freeze, and it will make it really sloppy, and then we'll have wet snow at night, or it will be like sloppy wet snow at night, and in the morning and at the night. So, meaning that's also going to cut down on snow accumulations too. It will melt the snow a little bit. The rain will in the middle of the day, and then we'll get more on top of that to replace that melted snow. But it's not going to be that much snow because, first of all, the temperatures are going to come down from above freezing, meaning that it's going to, I don't think it's going to accumulate right away like it did in the blizzard. And second of all, it's just really hard for it to stick when it's like that. It takes like a long time, and then it takes like about like a half an hour or so, like 15 minutes for it to finally stick at a moderate intensity. And so that's what I'm saying, only a couple inches for south of I-95. This is NOAA's WPC model, and what it's showing is that areas south of I-95, including Hartford South, Poughkeepsie South, and Boston South, really are not going to get more than 4 inches. The map is titled 24-hour probability of snow accumulating greater than 4 inches. So in areas south of the I-95 corridor, you're not going to get more than 4 inches. It's only you'll get snow, but you're not going to get more than 4 inches. You're only going to get and you'll see my forecast map in a minute, but around like 1 to 3 inches, and at the Cape, you're only going to get like a coating to 2 inches at most. And that's mostly from when the storms combined and the precipitation field increases. Now, as you can see in the White Mountains, you can see that's jackpot of the storm, so the ski areas will make out good for this storm. And then and the reason that the jackpot is more further east than and doesn't include Vermont is because the storm will strengthen as it goes off the coast when it combines with the storm when it combines with the southern branch of the storm, which at this time would be out in the Carolinas, and it will come up and combine, and then the precipitation field will expand. So it's going to give areas to the east in like the White Mountains the most snow. If you're on the coast of Maine, that's very marginal. It's very tight cutoff for snow, and some areas may end up with a lot more than others. That's not going to be the case in Massachusetts. You can see the gradient of percentiles is a lot less. It's not tight at all. It's a very loose gradient, which means that really most of the areas are going to end up with a relatively limited snowpack. Okay, this is the SREF model, also from NOAA. But what it's showing is, you can see the first time it goes up is the tomorrow. It's the first time. It's showing that it's going to start off snowing in the beginning of the day, then it's going to start raining. That's when it goes down, and it goes to its highest, the highest amount of snow. That's during the evening and during the nighttime. It's showing that's when the two storms combine, and the precipitation field expands. And you can see some models are showing up to, I don't even know what that says right now, but I think they're showing up to like 7 inches of snow at night, which is that's in addition to the snow in the morning. So that might be a pretty significant snowfall if all out. But that's like some extreme. But that model's on its own, really. The black line is the average line of models, and it's showing about probably 3 or 4 inches. I would say about 2.5 inches for the Plymouth area, and that's what it shows. When you get to the Monday time frame, as you can see, that's really it's when the It doesn't really show it, actually. It only goes up a little bit at the very end of the forecast, but you're not really getting the full Monday, Tuesday time frame, and it's really too far to really say anything about that yet. So two storms to watch out about for snow accumulation. I'm assuming if the Tuesday storm does happen, then it will be more significant than this storm. But the one for tomorrow, we'll get a couple inches out of. And I'm going to show you my snow map now for what I expect us to get for southern New England. And yeah, for southern New England. So anyone south of Plymouth, anyone south of Providence, anyone south of Hartford, anyone south of Poughkeepsie will get a coating to 2 inches. It will be too warm here for really anything else to for really much snow to fall. You'll get some in the beginning and probably more in the end after the temperatures fall below freezing after being above freezing for the midday. In the middle of the day, temperatures, like the GFS model said, about 40 degrees or so, that's going to melt a lot of your snow there. Although that's 30 inches of snow you already have on the ground, so it's just going to make, in addition to making the snow waterlogged, it's going to melt it. So it's going to be a very wet consistency. At night, you're going to also have a very wet consistency snow because the snow ratios are going to be really low, and it's going to be not as cold as it was in the blizzard. Even in areas in New Hampshire where they're getting 5 to 8 plus inches of snow, I don't expect more than 10 inches at most in the mountains. For Scituate and Boston, I expect 1 to 3 inches, no more than 3 inches. It's just because we don't have the QPF for the storm to get more than that, and the snow ratios are very low, and it's going to mix, especially for the coastline and southeastern Massachusetts. And then north of the Worcester Hills and north, in Pittsfield North, you're going to get 3 to 5. And the jackpot again will be in New Hampshire and the ski hills. We're going to get 5 to 8 plus, and probably 10 inches in Mount Washington, the presidential range. And also in Maine, you're going to in eastern Maine, eastern interior Maine, you're going to get quite a bit too, and then you're going to get 3 to 5 on the coast. Okay, this is Stormy Reinhardt signing off for Scituate Weather Live. Thank you for listening.